Hi there. This is another trap in the Milner-Barry variation of the French defence, and it's called the Codebreaker trap. The variation is named after the English master Stuart Milner-Barry, who also worked as a codebreaker during the Second World War, trying to decipher the German Enigma machine, alongside Alan Turing and another chess master, Hugh Alexander. We have e4 and the French defence with e6, d4, d5. White goes for the advanced variation with e5, and black tries to immediately chip away at white's little but strong pawn centre with c5. c3 supports the centre. Knight c3 is met by knight f3 and queen b6, an extremely common position. White here plays bishop d3. Of course, black cannot win a pawn. C takes on d4, followed by c takes on d4. We'll just do those moves. Common trap. Knight takes d4, knight takes d4. Queen takes on d4, loses out to bishop b5. So black here plays, black here will play, going back after bishop d3, black here plays bishop d7. Now black is threatening to take the pawn on d4. And white, rather than defend it with a move like bishop c2, plays castles now, happily giving up that pawn. When black takes, c takes, knight takes d4, white exchanges minor pieces, knight takes d4, queen takes d4. White has gambited a pawn. And after knight c3, white's offering up the second pawn. In this variation of the Milner-Barry, the Codebreaker, black takes that second pawn, queen takes on e5. Well, that's going to be met by rook e1, developing, hitting the queen. After rook e1, the queen will most usually drop back to b8, but it can, as in this variation, drop back to d6. The problem with that is that it invites knight b5 on the move, hitting the queen. So knight b5. Here we're looking at bishop takes on b5, bishop takes b5. Now the king's going to have to move king d8. How does white continue with the initiative? 2 pawns down. Well, we can see the f7 pawn now is loose, so queen h5 targets that pawn. And black can continue with queen e7. This move happened in the game Djurhaus against Schulman, where white went on to win. If instead the more natural g6, well, this move really creates irreparable structural weaknesses and damages for black, and white really now is winning. The queen will dart back to f3, hitting f7 head on, and if defending by f6, the queen is also defending the f4 square, so bishop f4 check, hitting the queen. Black will defend invariably with e5, but now we can smell a sacrifice in the air. With white so well developed, he has to play actively. And the best winning line here is rook takes on e5. The threat now is, amongst many other, well, the threat now is either rook e8 or rook takes on d5, both winning. So black's going to accept that sacrifice. F takes e5, and now bishop takes e5, hitting the queen as well as the rook on h8. And after queen takes on e5, now white's going to be winning. We can see that the bishop on f8 is loose. Queen takes f8, king c7, and white's going to win now. The rook comes into the game with tempo. Rook c1, king b6, and the queen c5, sending the king to its only square, a5, and it's always nice to mate with a pawn. b4, that's checkmate. So this has been a trap in the French Milner-Barry. It's called the Codebreaker trap. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.